Hey guys, welcome to Ringsiders Wrestling. Jamie and Callum here, and today we are joined by the ultimate finesser, dashing Chris Bay. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. That is me, the ultimate finesser. I finesse my way onto here. So.
I really do love that nickname.
I did almost say former X Division champion, but I didn't want to insult you because I know you're going to be the next X Division champion at some point as well.
Or world champion soon.
There you go. Now we're talking. Steve. Look, man, I'm already leaning over to Callum's side, man. Come on, man.
Come on, let's face it. I mean, after the role you've been on in Impact over the last few years, it's one of those things that's going to happen at some point. It's just a matter of when. And I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass, Chris. That is a guarantee.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm working hard to make that happen. So I just hope that I'm doing a good job and that people are enjoying what we're doing.
Well, I think you are. I mean, you're one of those people where the early days of TNA, when Impact was TNA, you had AJ Styles, Chris Sabin, Samoa Joe. You had those names that were synonymous with TNA. I feel like you're that with Impact now. Like when you think of Impact, you're one of those names that you think of. And I think that's a really good position to be in, because if you can be that guy people think of when they think of a company, you're doing something right. And you've definitely been putting in the work. You were a guy that I hadn't heard of when you first debuted in TNA, Impact. And now you're someone that I look forward to watching. So what's that journey been like for you? I mean, going from that relative, with all respect, relative unknown to being the one of the guys in Impact.
It's super cool. I talk about the glory days of TNA, and I was a fan of what TNA was producing for a long time. Watching guys like AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, and for me, like Sanjay Dutt and Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, just to name a few people. Then Christian Cage comes over and we get Kurt Angle and finish it really turned up. Guys like Abyss. I just thought it was a really cool thing, and I never really knew whether I would be able to be a part of it or what the longevity of it would be. But fast forward, here we are in 2020, and the opportunity presented itself for me to come to Impact Wrestling and sign with Impact Wrestling and be a part of the team. And it, just like you said now, how my name is kind of synonymous with Impact now, the same way those guys are. That's what I envisioned when I saw the opportunity to come to Impact. I saw an opportunity for me to take what people thought they knew about the product and attach my name to it for better sake, instead of having people. I had this scenario last night in the gym where there was a guy at the front desk. I have my mask on. He doesn't know who I am. So he's just, we're talking about wrestling. And he's like, I used to watch TNA. It was better back then. I don't know. I haven't watched it so long. And for me, it's like, okay, that's sweet, because now if you tune in, you'll see this new generation of guys. Hopefully you'll see this guy that's there named Chris Bay, and you'll enjoy him, and that'll change your mind. And I get a lot of those comments these days, but it's a blessing, man, to be a part of that and to be a part of this resurgence of Impact Wrestling, especially ever since Slammiversary, and then, having a lot of new talent come in and help us build our brand back to a strong position. I think we're on the verge of something very special right now.
Yeah, we've actually spoken to quite a few talents from Impact over the last few months, like Jimmy Jacobs and Ace Austin, and they've all said like that the atmosphere at Impact is like that of a family right now. Everybody's got the same goal. Everybody wants the best for Impact, and that's what it's needed for so long. Everybody to be on the same page. Everybody is there to build the brand, not just like a stepping stone on the way to someone else. You need to be there to build the brand. And it sounds like everybody's on the same page right now. Would you agree with that?
I would 100% agree with that. I think we all have that competitive spirit in us where we all want to be the best, but we also want to provide the best product and show to the world that Impact Wrestling is not one to sleep on, especially not right now, not this crop of guys and gals. We work very hard as a team to produce a solid product, and from what I see online, people are catching on to that they enjoy the product from week to week, and they think that all of our characters get a proper amount of time to shine and show what they're able to do, which I think we benefit from having a smaller roster because we have too many people who can get lost in the shuffle. There's not a lot of shuffle to get lost in. you know. So I think everybody gets their chance to shine. I think that makes everybody just that much more excited to come to work and provide new content for the fans.
Yeah, I was saying to Callum, we spoke to Cody Deaner a couple of nights ago as well, and I said the same to Cody. For me, Impact at the moment is the best wrestling product out there. You know, people are going about NXT, AEW, and I've been saying this to anyone who listens to me. Impact is the best product at the moment. Do you contribute that as well to a lot of the new guys coming in, a lot of the younger talent? Is that a big thing?
I think so, yeah, because professionally from that standpoint, I'm sure that as much as everyone is confident in their abilities, when you have people from other companies come over, there is that kind of thing in the back of everyone's mind where they're thinking maybe that someone's going to steal their shine, or that they will fall to the back of the line because we get these people who have been on a higher platform and have more of a name for themselves, so that people will subsequently fall because of that. But I think iron sharpens iron. So to have those people now, and to have those people here, not to just sit around and take our money, but to sit around and help us and work with us and create new content. Like having the Good Brothers versus the North. That's something right there. Or against the Machine Guns. Or having Eric Young back in the mix, or having guys like Heath come. I think that even E3 when he came back, to do his thing with Moose, I think that all of that helps everybody in the grand scheme of things, because none of us are afraid of losing our spots, but we are 100% willing and ready to work and show people that we deserve our spots and that we're just as good as these people, if not better. And together, that's a recipe for the best, the best entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely. I could not agree more. I mean, you've got such a good mix of, like you said, you've got the veterans on the roster, not just in singles, but in tag team as well. Like with the Machine Guns coming back, 15-year-old me was marking out so much for the Machine Guns coming back. Absolutely love the Motor City Machine Guns. But then you've got that mix of like the newer talent and that established talent like yourself, but then there's always like new talent coming in as well. And you're not just having to rely on I don't want to say rejects or anything, but like the former WE talent, like TNA used to. You've actually got your own homegrown talents now, and those are the draw for Impact. And I think that's really important to have, is the homegrown talent. And you, in a way, I mean, I'm not too familiar with your work pre-Impact, but would you class yourself as an Impact homegrown talent, or is there like a lot more to your history than just Impact?
Well, I can give you a short summary, honestly, but I think at this point we can classify me as a homegrown Impact talent. I just celebrated 4 years in the business a couple of weeks ago, and I've been with Impact now for close to a year. So roughly the 3 years of my journey was just a lot of independence on the West Coast, and I did some enhancement work for Impact before. I've done 205 Live before, and I did maybe 2 matches or so at Ring of Honor. I can't specifically remember, but other than that, I haven't really had a big deal anywhere or a contract anywhere. I never really had a solid spot other than these West Coast indies that I was attached to. So Impact has been my first real platform to really show people what I'm able to do and who the ultimate finesser is. So, and they've given me a good chance to do that, and I think people are starting to understand. So I guess at this point we really can classify me as homegrown Impact. I don't want that at all.
It does seem like longer that you've been in Impact. It seems longer than a year.
Yeah.
It really does. Like thinking about it, like you're right. I remember seeing you on 205 Live, and that must have been pre-Impact. But it seems like you've been in Impact for at least 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah. You said it earlier in the conversation. You're like, your years with Impact. I was like, bro, years.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You said that there for ages.
Yeah.
But that shows how hard you've worked in that 1 year. Really, that's to your credit.
Yeah, I've busted my ass for sure. I know I think the vignettes aired for me in February, and then I think I made my TV debut. So yeah, it's been a roller coaster for sure. It's been a lot.
Where you'll be 5 years from now, if that's what you've done in a year, then this is why I said future world champion, because if you've done that in a year, imagine 5.
Game plan. That's the mentality. I just don't like to waste. I don't like to waste motion. I think that things can be accomplished if you do the right work and you take the proper precautions. Things can be accomplished in a good time frame. It doesn't have to take people 10 years. It doesn't have to take 15 years. It doesn't have to take a year. Sometimes it takes a middle frame. But regardless, everybody's moving at their own pace, and sometimes that person who it takes 10 years will have a better next couple of years than somebody that it takes 5 years who might burn out 2 years after that, So it all depends on the individual. I'm just very fortunate and blessed to be where I'm at and where I'm headed,
What's it like as well? Obviously, you like you said, you're 4 years in the business. You're a young guy. What's it like in that Impact locker room having guys like Tommy Dreamer and Rhino to be able to go to? Do you utilize them, speak to them a lot, get advice off those kind of guys?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool because, I've been a lifelong wrestling fan. So for me, I went from, like most of us, seeing them on our television screen or, just always looking at them through this digital platform. So you feel like you know them when you follow around them a lot, even though they're just getting to know you. You feel like you already know them because you've seen them all your life. It's super cool, man, and I try to take advantage of it when I can. Believe it or not, I can be shy and reserved. So sometimes it's hard for me to, just ask people certain things. But whenever I have something that's on my mind, I'm never shy about, asking for advice or anything. I had an Slammiversary when we got the machine guns back. I remember, just like you said, your 15-year-old you. I'm thinking of 13, 14-year-old me, yeah, man, the machine guns. And I remember Alex Shelley, he was like, nice match, Chris. And I remember I laughed and I was like, you're Alex Shelley, bro. I don't even know what to say about that, bro. It's cool to get to share this creative energy with these people. And like I said earlier, they're here to help. They really are here to help. And it shows me as a young guy how I'm supposed to move going forward with my career and how I should be when younger people come in, and the same energy I should exude instead of trying to prevent people from growing. I should be giving people the tools to grow because it helps our business out in the long run.
That's it. Yeah. Everybody's got to help each other because you've got to look out for yourself, obviously, but if the whole locker room works together, then the product thrives and everyone makes more money, everybody's happier. So I think that's the mentality most locker rooms should have. I know it's not always the case, but it seems like nowadays in 2020, most locker rooms are starting to be a little bit more positive and help each other out, especially on the indies. And I've heard AEW's got a good locker room, but it's always Impact, which people say has the best atmosphere backstage. Everybody leaves their ego at the door and is there just to help. And I think that's so cool because I've always got a soft spot for Impact, given that back when I was 13 years old, I used to download independent wrestling on LimeWire, and I remember downloading this company called TNA, and it was back when they were doing weekly pay-per-views, and I was like, this is incredible. So it was the first wrestling I'd ever seen outside of WWE, and it kind of just stuck with me. So now to see it, there's so many times where the company could have failed miserably. When they went to war with Raw, and Hogan comes in, people love that or hate it. Personally, I don't think they ever needed Hogan. I think it was fine on its own, but it's so good to see Impact now getting back to that point where it's thriving again. People are talking about it. There's a buzz coming back. Where do you see Impact being in, say, 5 years' time?
Well, if I have it my way, which I hope I do, but if I have it my way, Impact will be wrestling as a general thing, and we can credit AEW for sure for this as well. But people are starting to not just see WWE and people are starting to, you know, like I know a lot of my friends back home who will say stuff like, hey, you know, have you heard of AEW, or like, and they don't even watch wrestling. They're just casual Chris Bay fans. They know that I'm a wrestler and I pursue wrestling, but instead of just saying, oh, WWE, they're going, hey, so do you know of AEW also? And then, of course, they watch Impact now because of me. But my thing is, like, I watch a lot of old, like, 90s shows and early 2000 shows, and I'll hear these people drop references about wrestling in it. And I'm like, man, that would be sweet to get to a level where Impact could be dropped in casual conversation on these television shows that are in the mainstream, you know. So if I have it my way, that's where it'll be headed. And the way that AEW is opening it up for people are starting to open up their horizons on a general, you know, a general thought process where they're not just saying, oh, WWE. So hopefully in 5 years from now, people will not just be, oh, WWE. They'll go, oh, no, yeah, wrestling. And they'll go, WWE, New Japan, Impact, Ring of Honor, AEW, Major League, whatever there is out there that people want to watch, you know, or, you know, GCW, this independent, that independent, my local independent company that's, you know, 20 miles away from me, whatever it is. Like, I would hope that wrestling as a whole gets in the next 5 years where everybody can, you know, like what they like, and it doesn't have to be well, this is better than that, or that's better than this, or this is the only way to do it, you know, because that takes a lot of fun out of it. So I hope in the next 5 years, Impact is on that level where people are just like, just liking it from the mainstream perspective, and hopefully I help open the floodgates to that.
That would be awesome. Imagine a world where wrestling fans and wrestlers aren't always complaining on Twitter about what's better. That's so cool.
Tell me about it, right?
Well, obviously, with the success of Impact as well, what's it like as well being working with, like, obviously Scott D'Amore and Don Callis, because they seem to have had a very positive impact since coming in. What's it like being working with those guys?
I think it's great, man. I think that Scott and Don have a good tap on how to navigate the wrestling business and how to make sure that they're getting the most out of talent, and that talent are happy and able to feel free and like they're doing what they want to do. You know, when I first came over, I had a conversation with Don, and he was asking me, you know, what the ultimate finesser meant. And just from that conversation alone, you know, which could to some people be a general conversation that you have with somebody who's in charge, and to other people it could be completely foreign because maybe they're given a strict routine of what they're supposed to do. But I think for me, at least, being young and coming into a new company, my first contract, and hearing that from someone in Don's position, it made me realize that they care about what I want to do and what has worked for me up to this point. And they want to inquire more about what that is. And same with Scott. You know, Scott's been very, very kind and very professional. And working with those two guys in charge, I think we've been able to create some good stuff. And I've been able to convey the ultimate finesser to the best of my ability, to the best of our ability. And now we're reaching that level where we're starting to give it more layers. And I think that they just have a really good grasp on how to make talent feel like they're doing what they want to do, and they're doing it the way that it works best for them, and not something that's unorthodox to them. It's not a strict formula of, oh, it has to be this way, but more so it's, well, how would that person do it? Or what scenario would put that person in this scenario for these things to come together? And as a team, collectively, we make those things happen.
How important is that to you as a wrestler to have your own creative freedom? I've heard it a lot that it's paramount to a wrestler to have some freedom on what they're doing, but do you feel like you'd be where you are now if you were told exactly how you needed to be?
Not at all, man. And I think that was completely instrumental to my decision to come to Impact Wrestling, because I had friends who were already over here, and people who just, you know, I could tell by what they do that there has to be some sort of a creative freedom there. And then when I talk to these people, they tell me the same thing. And I think that, especially now, being as young as I am, yeah, maybe this is that young mentality still, but I don't want to be told what to do. You know, like I don't know. And maybe I'm like, I'll do that when I'm in later stages of my career. Right now, I felt like the best way for me to do this and navigate this business was for me to be able to build what I feel like works best for me and figure out what works best for me and see how well we can make that work. And then later on, if, you know, it doesn't work out the way I think, well, maybe we start getting a little bit more strict on the direction. But I just don't think I would be where I'm at today. I wouldn't be who I am, and I wouldn't think the way I think if I didn't have this freedom and I didn't have this creative, because it's that whole word right there, creative. You know, I can't be creative if I'm given something. So, you know, like if I go do a commercial and the commercial says, this is how it has to be. You walk into the store and you say, hey, 20 on pump, whatever, 20 on pump 5. That's the line. There's nothing else to it. You know, there's no creative. There's no, you know, you come in and you do it too fun and they're like, nah, that's not what we wanted. Just say 20 on pump 5. You're like, 20 on pump 5, my friend. They're like, no, that's not what we wanted. Just say 20 on pump 5. There's no creative there, you know, like, so this isn't that. And this is instrumental to my growth, especially right now where I'm at in my career. I need this. I need it to be this way.
Sure. Yeah. To a much lesser extent, I do get what you mean. I'm a graphic designer, and whenever I've worked for an agency, even though they're paying me and telling me what to do, I always do it my own way, and I always end up arguing that it should be done my way because I'm the designer. And they're like, "No, we're paying you to do what we want," and I'm like, "No, I want to do it my way," and then I always end up getting fired. So yeah, I have to do it my own way. I don't like being told what to do. So it's, as a creative, it's the same thing. You're a professional wrestler. That is a creative thing, and it's your character. You're portraying that person. So I can't imagine how frustrating it must be for some people to be told you have to do this, because how do you grow as a character and as a person if you're being told what to be?
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah, well, obviously, speaking of, you know, lack of creative and all that, you mentioned a brief WWE stint. What was that experience like with 205 and the whole WWE machine?
It was crazy, man. Like, I think at the time I was just about to celebrate my 3 years in the business. And me, it was a day that I didn't even plan to be a part of, but the opportunity was on the table. At the time, they were coming to Vegas, and I lived like 5 minutes up the road from the arena. So I was like, man, you know, I'd be a fool to not go through with this, because I could have done an indie date that day in San Francisco and went over, seen some friends or whatever, or I could have stayed home, went 5 minutes around the corner, eat some good catering, possibly get a match, you know, like possibly change my life, you know. But it was cool, man. Like I had done extra work with them before, so I had been backstage and felt that, you know. But to actually wrestle in front of the crowd and to do it under my name, I think that was the coolest part. Instead of like getting a random name, I think that that was just cool, because I do wrestle under my real name. So it's my dad's last name, and my dad passed away 4 years ago before I got into wrestling.
Right.
As a kid, he would take me to all the WWE events, and he 100% like was the machine behind my addiction to wrestling, and like anything I wanted wrestling related, he would make sure I got that. And so for me, my journey has been just dedicated to him, and you know, building a legacy for my family. So to stand in the middle of that ring and hear people, because we're in Vegas and this is where I built my career, to hear the crowd chanting my name, and you can go back and watch the clip, you know, it's very audible, but to hear like people chanting my name in that scenario, and then that being my dad's name in turn, like it was just, I can't even ever find the words to express what I really felt in that moment, other than as far as my emotions went, I just felt like it was where I was always supposed to be. And I don't mean WWE, but I mean the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
Because that's really the only place I've ever really felt so comfortable in this world. It's my dream. It's my life's work. And now from there to the Slammiversaries to Bound for Glories, you know, like I do that, you know, like wrestling is what I do. So to stand there and feel that it was ever so real, and then to go to the locker room afterwards, where the rest of the extra talent were a lot of my friends and peers who've been there, who trained with me since my first day, you know, like to have the respect from them and the adulation from them, you know, like it was just crazy. And I think I went on my phone and I uploaded a picture of it, put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I just started bawling my eyes out, man, because like for me it was just positive reassurance. I think maybe 2 months before that I was on the phone with my mom. And I don't think I've told this story before, but I think like two months before that, I was on the phone with my mom just talking about how hard this journey is, and you know how much it's mentally like destroying me, and just how just I didn't want to quit because this is all I want to do, but like how I just didn't know how I was going to proceed and make things happen. So I did Impact like 2 weeks before 205. I did Ring of Honor, I think the week before, and then I did 205. So then, like, doing all that, I was just like, man, like, I must be doing something right, you know, like, to have these opportunities and to have these blessings and to just get where I'm at today in such a short time, especially being the size I am, the person I am. High school, middle school, wherever it was, I want to be a pro wrestler. Oh, you're too small for that. Oh, you're never gonna make it. Even 2 months before I started wrestling. Oh, you'll never make it, or it'll take you a year and a half, 2 years to get your first match, or it'll do this, it'll do that. And here I am, 3 years in, just wrestled for 3 major companies in the States. You know, 3 of the biggest companies in our business, and did it all. You know, through hard work and perseverance and sacrificing everything. So it was just like, it was crazy, man. It still is one of those things where I'm just so fortunate to have had that opportunity and to put myself in the position and met the people that I've met or who have been able to help me get in there and open the door for me, just crack the door open a little bit so I can finesse my way through the crack, or, you know, however I ended up doing it. But yeah, man, it was a blessing. And if it told me anything, it told me that anything's possible. And that's why now I came to Impact and I was like, X Division champion, that's going to happen. Did the X Division championship, and then I was like, okay, Bound for Glory is paid for glory, that's going to happen. And then now my mentality is like, world championship, that's going to happen. And Callum believes, I don't know about you, Jamie, but Callum believes. So, you know.
Hey, I believe, man. I believe 100%. 100%. I also believe, speaking of opportunities, that you're going to win the Super J Cup.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey, Jamie.
So, thank you very much.
Just won me back.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, how did that come about? I mean, that would be a big deal for you as well, working in New Japan.
Yeah. To be honest, man, finesse, I don't know, bro. Like, I just be working and doing my thing. And I got contacted by Rocky Romero. He put the invite out for me. And him and Scott D'Amore had a conversation. So he let me know, once again, you know, Scott D'Amore and the business that we do. It's great business. And I know that he and Scott had conversations. He asked me, he told me he already talked to Scott, and it was something that I was 100% available for and open to. And here we are. I didn't know when everything would be announced, or like if it was going to be or how that process was going to happen. But it was like 2 a.m. my time, and I got the notification and like the New Japan post, and I'm just like, oh, sweet. Well, here you go. Now we open up the floodgates, so now the world knows. And it's another one of those things where it's just like, man, I'm completely blessed and fortunate. And people ask me, what's my strategy going into it? Or like, you know, what am I going to do to separate myself? And I don't need to. You know, only thing I need to do is be the ultimate finesser and be Chris Bay, because I'm here for a reason. And once again, it goes back to when I was in that, you know, in the 205 Live scenario. Once I get in the ring, no matter whether, you know, the buckles read New Japan or Impact or whatever it reads, J Cup on the canvas, I don't care what it is, that ring is my ring. I know what the ring is. I know what I do in the ring, and I finesse and I put on a show and I entertain. So I just look forward to tapping into a whole new market and showing a whole new legion of fans who I am and what I bring to the table and what I plan to do for many years to come in this business.
Yeah, man.
We were stoked. I mean, I remember when I saw it announced on Twitter as well, I actually screenshotted it and sent it to Callum. I was like, this is amazing. I was like, this is absolutely incredible. Is Rocky Romero someone you've known for a while then? And was it meant to get a call from him regarding this? Because we've had him on the show ourselves, and he's a lovely guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. I met him a couple of years ago, I want to say. Maybe this was at Ring of Honor and when I first started going around Ring of Honor, because I think I did like extra talent work with Ring of Honor when I was like 6 days into training. They came to Vegas, their anniversary show in 2016, and I had happened to just start training. So I was like one of Dalton Castle's boys, like, for his pay-per-view entrance and some more stuff. I think I first met Rocky Romero there, and then as the years went by, we kind of just kept tabs on each other. And then last year, we wrestled each other in LA. We wrestled a 4-on-4 match. It was a pretty cool match, but we were on opposite sides of that. And then we swapped contacts, personal contact info, and then this whole pandemic happened. So we kind of, everybody went their separate ways. But yeah, me and him have known each other for a while, and we just kept tabs on each other. And I just try to be a cool guy. So I guess people think I'm a cool guy, and they care to help me out with certain things, and I'm super fortunate that he thinks highly of me, and had that opportunity for me, and here I am.
No, dude, you've what I love is when we speak to people, when we speak to wrestlers who clearly passionate about wrestling, and that you can tell you're still a fan of wrestling, and that's the main thing. You're passionate, you're still a fan. I absolutely love speaking to people like that, and the fact that just learning a bit more about you now, like your story before wrestling, and even with your match in 205 Live and how much it meant to you, I think you should just be really proud of how far you've come in that time that you've been wrestling and how much you've done. Because I didn't realize you'd wrestled for Ring of Honor, Impact, and WWE in the space of a few weeks, and I can't think of many people who have done that. Like, even that's an achievement in itself. So, just fair play to you. You've done amazing in this time.
Thank you very much. I just want to keep setting the bar, keep showing people that it's possible. I have here in Vegas, we have a school, Future Stars of Wrestling. That's where I trained and where
I've heard of that. Yeah.
We have so many people who come out of that school, or so many people who are coming through that school right now, who see me as as that positive reassurance, and as an example of that it's possible, especially with me being the frame I am, because we had a Karrion Kross come through there as well, and he was like the first guy that I latched with, but we're two different statures, we're two different size people. So some say in the business that it's easier for bigger people to navigate. They 100% still have to do the work, and he's earned everything that he's ever been given, in this business. And he's super talented, a great guy. But for the regular size, average size adult human being, not super massive Killer Kross, Karrion Kross, but for the regular average human like myself, we have a lot of students similar build to me who can come through and see like, oh man, well, Chris did that and Chris did this, so Chris did that, so I can do that and I can do this. And now, like with the New Japan thing, I didn't even realize how much of an influx of students we have who are huge New Japan fans, but they're like going nuts now for this J Cup thing for me. And they like, now I'm opening up another lane for them, potentially, or another sense of hope. So I just want to keep doing stuff like that. And if I get to that level where people start to say that, they got into wrestling because of me, or they, I showed them that something was possible or attainable, then I'm doing what I wanted to do, because I'll still set my goals. I'll still, reach as far as I can to accomplish these goals. But it's all about the legacy we leave behind. And I want people to know that everything you can make a reality. You really can make it a reality. And I want to see all my friends, all my peers make their dreams a reality, because I felt mine, and I'm feeling mine, I'm living mine. So, and I know how great of a feeling it is. And I think everyone deserves to feel that, at least once.
Absolutely, man. Couldn't agree with you more. Before we wrap things up as well, we always like to let you promote your social medias, your merchandise, anything coming up. Obviously we know there's a big Super J Cup coming up, but anything else you want to plug and promote, you go for it.
Well, depending on when this airs, you can catch me on Tuesday nights on Access TV. You can catch me also on Twitch. We do the live airing on Twitch with Impact Wrestling this upcoming Tuesday. Depending on when this is airing, of course, I'll be facing one Eddie Edwards, and I think that's a great match for myself. It's something I've been asking for in the past recent weeks, so I'm glad this is coming to fruition. Now, asking you shall receive, I wanted to test myself, so now I have, the heart of Impact Wrestling, in my eyes at least, being Eddie Edwards, and I'm going to take his phone, rip it out, and chew on it for a bake fest. That's what I'm going to do. You can also find my music. I have music on all streaming platforms, whether it be, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, YouTube, wherever it is that you listen to your music. Search Chris Bay and listen to my music. I have an EP dropping on November 25th. It's called Odyssey. It's just a 3-song EP that I made over the course of the pandemic. Just talking about random stuff. I like that EP though, so people should enjoy it. You can find my merchandise at Pro Wrestling Tees. I do have a Pro Wrestling Tees store. I also sell exclusive merch through myself. I do exclusive drops similar to how Supreme would do. Exclusive designs and different types of things at limited supplies. So if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter at @ChrisBay, you can see whenever I'll upload about when those drops will come out and those exclusive drops, and you can get those directly through me. I also do the 8x10s and all those fun things. Cameo haven't accepted me yet, so not yet on Cameo, but one day I will be. One day I will be. It must be my face. It's okay. And I think that's everything. I think those are all my socials. Those are also all my YouTube as well, Chris Bay. You can scroll all the way back to 10 years ago when you can watch me unbox the TNA Impact World Championship at 14 years old. People watch that video. People watch that one. I can only imagine why, but big proof here that anything you want to make happen, you can make happen. So those are my plugs there, and that's where you can find me. That's where I'm at, and yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I'm gonna have a look for the music. I apologize. I didn't realize you was a musician as well, because I'm somewhat of a failed musician. So I'm going to check out that as soon as we come off this call. Now that's something I will be having a listen to. For sure. Well, I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's incredible.
Why, bro? Why fail? Music lasts forever. How did you fail if it lasts forever? Tell me this.
Well, I'm not a failed musician. I'll rephrase it. I'm just no longer in a band. I'll rephrase it then.
Okay.
There we go.
I was in a band too. We were called Dudes in a Room. We never got a gig. We stayed in the room. So I guess also a failed band, or whatever we call it. But it's okay.
Yeah, but you are right. Music is everywhere. Music is forever. I'm a guitarist and I love it. So I will be checking out your music. I will certainly do that.
I enjoy the guitar. We will collab at some point.
Hell yeah, man! I'm totally down for that. Totally down for that. Anytime, man. But Chris, honestly, can't thank you enough. You are a wonderful human being. It's been an absolute treat to speak to you. Hopefully you'll come back on at some point in the future. Maybe with that Super J Cup in your hand. Maybe. And the Impact World title over the shoulder.
There we go.
But yeah, thank you so much. He's the ultimate Finesser, dashing Chris Bay. We are Ringsiders.